Howdy, howdy!
Why, hello, everybody.
And welcome to But It Was Aliens, the extraterrestrial comedy podcast where we probe paranormal events to determine whether the stuff that happened really did happen or whether the stuff that happened did not happen, really. The co-host has no idea what's coming up each episode, and I'm your host today, Kev, which means that the clueless co-host this week is Mr. Granville Moonwalker.
Are you saying that your name's Kev, or are you talking to Kev? I'm your host today, Kev.
Oh, I'm talking to my shadow me. Hey, shadow me. Why did my voice change to say hello to my shadow me? Am I the shadow me? I'm off track already.
I was about to say also, what would your shadow you call you?
Feck? Wait, why am I changing my name? I'm the shadow me. We begin our tale today in Mayagüez, Puerto Rico. I've definitely pronounced that wrong, but you should be used to us by now. Mayagüez, Puerto Rico, historically named by indigenous folk as the land of clean waters. It was a breezy morning of 1934, the 1930s. Juan Rivera Feliberti was out doing what any respectable young man would be doing during a borderline tempestuous morning. This motherfunker was flying him a kite. Juan had travelled to the outskirts of Mayagüez to pick up the best wind, and Mayagüez had indeed got wind. As Juan was enjoying himself, however, suddenly something began pulling on the kite. As you would, Juan looked up.
So it wasn't the wind pulling on the kite? On the kite.
On the quite. It wasn't the wind. Well, it could have been the wind. We'll find out because Juan looked up.
Also, if this is called the land of clean waters, I'd hate to see what the other lands are.
The land of real dirty water.
The land of slightly clean water. The land of water almost clean, but there's one speck of dirt in there. And then the land of sludge.
To be fair, the UK is the land of pretty dirty water.
Mm-hmm.
If you turn on a tap, that shit is crusty. Horrible. Juan's gaze was met by the sight of a 20-foot silvery sphere hovering directly over Juan, sucking off Juan's kite into the sky. What the F, David Blaine? At that point, you'd probably leg it to cover, wouldn't you? But Juan kept looking. Suddenly, again, a beam of light shot down from the sphere-shaped craft right around Juan. It was about this time that that Honey Juan realised that he was slowly rising through the air. Track the beam, motherfunker! When was the last time we encountered a proper functioning track the beam on But It Was Aliens? I can't even remember.
Me neither.
As Juan neared the craft, Juan realised that there was an opening at the centre of the craft where the light was coming from. Juan kept on rising right through that hole. The light opening closed behind Juan as he slipped inside, and before Juan could even really process what was happening, Juan's feet were on the ground. Juan was standing, so Juan looked around.
Ooh.
I'll probably find out after recording this one that it's Juan or Juane or something rather than Juan.
So his kite got caught.
Got sucked off, yeah.
What by?
Well, I'm going to assume that it was the beam.
So the beam had already
The beam started coming down and sucked off the kite, and then it sucked off Juan after.
So it was very slow to get to Juan.
Potentially, or maybe it was going... Because the kite might not have been directly vertical to Juan. It could have been slightly off to the side, as kites often are. They have a fair old length of string on them, don't they? So maybe the craft was trying to line up Juan and started sucking off the kite and loads of random shit before it got to Juan.
So it's
I got a couple of worms, a couple of birds.
So to start with, it must be a pretty weak...
Until they flipped the power switch.
Yeah. Because I'm just wondering if he still held on. Why is his arm still attached to his body? Why didn't it just rip his arm off? if it's a powerful tractor beam.
Maybe it's a soft tractor beam.
But it's powerful enough to pull up a human.
Gently powerful. It's like gravity. It's always
In
there.
reverse.
It's always there and you can't stop it.
It's not a tractor beam, it's reverse gravity.
Maybe that's how tractor beams
I'm just going to call
work.
it that.
They
every
create
time
like
now.
such a centre of mass above us that things get sucked towards them rather than it being like light beams that are sucked or however the hell else.
Or
Like a tiny,
What
tiny
if-
black hole
that beam,
that stringifies.
they turn off gravity. That beam, anything in that beam is not affected by gravity. Therefore, you just rise up. You're not actually being sucked up by the power of a tractor beam. It's just switching. It's just creating a cocoon or a vortex hole shaped box, whatever you want to call it. It's creating a space where gravity doesn't exist.
Again, maybe that's how it works, creating a counterpoint of gravity so that rather than...
We just discovered what tractor beams really are.
We've just invented them. We're going to patent this shit once we get off air. Going to go straight down to the office.
The reverse gravity beam.
And they'll be like, so how'd you build that? And we'll be like, we're a level 1. Once we graduate to level 2, we'll be able to draw you a picture. Why has your voice changed? Because I'm now a level 1.
Have you not been listening?
I had an idea around this as I was reading it. What if this is the beginning of the rapture?
Which one?
This is the end.
So not Bioshock.
Not that rapture, no. the biblical rapture. I'll come on your walls, your floor. That rapture.
Oh, it's such a great film.
Yeah, we saw that at a cinema, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Great times.
Amazing film.
What?
Just picture Channing Tatum humping Danny McBride's leg.
Yeah.
Is that Channing Tatum? Hey, what's up, bro?
Juan was greeted by the sight of what appeared to be a man in a tight green suit sat at a control panel.
Right. So in the notes, I have a sign telling me to wait.
Yes.
Either there's going to be a green suited gimp or somebody in like a green morph suit or Link.
I'm just gonna continue on as you have a look.
Gonna be one of the
Because
three.
this green motherfucker looked like Tingle from The Legend of Zelda. The control pane had a huge green crystal
Wait.
in the center console.
So
Why do we need to wait? Can't we just move past this? I don't know how that picture got in there.
So the picture that Greybeard has put in, it's safe to say will never be going on our Instagram page.
I didn't put it in. I don't know how it got there. I've never seen that before.
Just a tip.
For those curious, it involves Tingle and Link from the Legend of Zelda series, and that's about all I can say about it. So the control pane had a huge crystal in the center console. The creatures clearly liked green, but they were not little green men.
Super green.
Next to the Tingle alien was a blonde female alien with rosy skin.
I'm sorry. I'm surprised you didn't put in Chris Tucker from Fifth Element there. The blonde hair. Super green.
Missed the opportunity. The blonde was dressed in a silver outfit and, to Juan's eye, looked rather young. The blonde was also holding Juan's kite. The girl took Juan into another room where Juan was shown a box. The girl's box. The box was small and covered in little coloured buttons. The girl asked Juan if Juan would like to play with her box. Of course Juan wanted to play. Of course he did. The blonde alien girl took hold of the box and pressed some buttons. A swirl of smoke released from the box. As Juan looked on, amazingly, the smoke begun taking shape. That shape appeared to be of a monkey. Before Juan knew it, there were several monkeys in the room. The girl then asked Juan if Juan would be interested in trading his kite for this mystery box.
How old is Juan?
Quite young at this point.
Okay. So him wanting to play up a box is quite normal.
Yeah.
The monkeys appearing from the box gives me Jumanji vibes.
Yeah, those mischievous little monkeys.
And then the boy turns into a monkey, doesn't he? In the very first Jumanji, not the
classic.
remake. Yeah.
I started chuckling as I was reading the notes there. I can't remember if this occurred to me while I was writing it, but did they take one literally just because they wanted his kite? Like, advanced tractor beam technology, able to travel across galaxies. They've never seen a kite. What is this magic? How is this floating on a string?
It's not that. It's the little girl. She's like, Dad, I want that kite. And she just threw a temper tantrum, and they were
Tingle
like,
was like,
oh, we're going to hear this for the next 2 light years if we don't get this fucking kite. So they were like, right, tractor beam. And because he didn't let go of the kite, they've now thought, we've got to fucking trade something, haven't we?
we can't just take it. We've brought this girl up. We need to bring her up right. We can't teach her that you just steal from other creatures.
And I was like, right, you find something that you're willing to trade for that kite.
And she's giving him, he thinks this toy is amazing, but it's actually, there's some real shit behind it and she wants to get rid of it. Like, this box has been nothing but trouble.
Yeah, kite trading. Would you trade a kite for a bunch of monkeys?
Hell yeah.
Me too.
As a child, I would have loved to have a monkey. Now, not so much. Putting the whole not a natural environment thing to one side, you'd have to do an awful lot of cleaning up, wouldn't you? What the hell was Michael Jackson thinking? I know that was a chimp rather than a monkey, but still.
Maybe it was potty trained.
Like, imagine the damage it would do around your house. Even if it was potty trained, they still pick their bum and flick shit.
Admittedly, though, I say admittedly.
When I had a monkey, it was lovely. Used to poo down my back.
I can't remember his name, but it's one half of Ray Shremmerd, American hip hop group, couple, duo, whatever. One of them has 2 pet monkeys, I think. I've just seen videos of his pet monkeys just like
chilling out
around it. Yeah, just chilling. Look pretty cool.
I just can't get past the amount of housework. Like, it's bad enough having a dog.
I mean, admittedly, he probably doesn't. Well, I suppose he does clean up after them, but if you've paid maids.
Well, I suppose if you've got millions expendable income.
Mm-hmm. Pay someone just to clean up monkey poo. But I think he has diapers, fucking nappies on him.
I don't know how I feel about that either.
No, not natural.
Well, I do know how I feel about that, and I don't agree. Yeah. We're getting away.
Monkeys.
Would you have played with her box?
Would it have given me monkeys?
You didn't know when you... We're back to the monkey conversation. Right, moving on. After accepting the trade, the girl made the monkey things get sucked back into the box, and Juan was told that it was time to go home.
See, it was a trade.
Yeah. The alien people put Juan back in the tractor beam, and Juan was returned to the exact spot where Juan had been airlifted.
Okay, sorry, before you carry on, they clearly didn't create somewhere for gravity to not exist, because if they would have put him back in the tractor beam and switched it the other way, I'm pretty sure he would have just dropped to Earth pretty quickly.
Or maybe they slowed it. They lessened the mass. I'm a level 2! Onto
the artwork.
And And on that note,
And then your artwork takes you back to a level 1.
I no longer have a level. I'm 0. So they dropped him at the exact same spot where he'd been airlifted. The landing, however, was not as smooth as the takeoff. I'm not clear on whether Juan was dropped from a few feet rather than returned exactly to the ground, or whether Juan wasn't prepared for the speed at which his feet made contact with the ground, but either way, Juan twisted his ankle in the process of landing. Bad injury. Despite the bumpy landing though, Juan did indeed still possess the mystery box. Juan hid the device from his family, but eventually, Juan couldn't resist keeping it to himself and had to show his friends the monkey things. Juan simply had to. At first though, Juan just slammed the buttons trying to emulate the alien girl to little success. Juan couldn't produce the monkeys reliably. A puff of smoke here, half a monkey tail there, but not full creatures. Until eventually, Juan was able to work out the right button combination, just as the alien girl had used to create a whole tribe of monkeys. Monkey Squad.
I am a level 4
A level 4 what?
in monkey conjuring.
Monkey Maker. Juan was scared of being told off for talking to strangers, but gradually Juan worked up the courage to show his parents his mystery box. But when Juan tried whipping out his monkey mystery box, Juan discovered that adults could not see the monkeys.
Ooh. Did he have to have special glasses on? Or is it, these monkeys aren't for adults?
I think it's, these monkeys aren't for adults.
Okay.
Whether it's like that imaginary friend kind of dynamic where only children have the innocence to see magic.
Or the monkeys only show themselves to the innocent, and therefore his parents weren't.
Because they've been doing dirty shit.
Indeed.
I was gonna say his mum shit all over his dad. I don't know why that's the first thing that came to my mind.
You've been reading some documents lately, haven't you?
I suppose. Yeah, horrid.
Do we, as children, have not access to a different spectrum of sight, but do we see things, and then as we get older,
I'm on your wavelength, yeah.
they kind of like die, or they evolve to only see what we need to see?
Like how your taste buds change. Does any form of our senses change? No idea.
The same way they say children are susceptible to...
Apologies, folks. Moxley just made a guest appearance. Someone decided rudely to knock at the door. How dare they? You were saying?
The same way that children are susceptible to seeing ghosts and the paranormal at a young age.
Yes.
And we lose it as we get older, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Is this what's happening here with the monkey box?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is. I think.
Do you think that's... No, I'm going to go into a whole diatribe. We'll save that for another episode.
Okay.
A theory I was going to put forth could be an episode, so...
Okay. Oh, is it something you're looking at?
No,
it is now.
Will be now.
If you remember it. With adults not being able to perceive the mystery box monkeys, the monkeys begun getting Juan into trouble. You see, as much as Juan could create the monkeys, Juan could not control them, and as much as adults couldn't see the monkeys, the adults could see the damage they created. That meant that Juan was getting the blame, and let me tell you, son, monkeys are not tidy, well-behaved creatures. There was a bit of an issue with this situation too, meaning that Juan got in more and more trouble. You see, whilst Juan could create these mystery box monkeys, Juan could not make them disappear. Juan, therefore, had a gradually increasing tribe of monkeys living with him. This shit was like Planet of the Apes in Juan's bedroom.
Can you remember Drop Dead Fred?
Yes.
It's like Drop Dead Monkeys.
Yeah. More and more.
Literally, but more just keep appearing.
I think it's in, he knows that he can't fit anymore, but then...
Literally read your line under it.
Yeah, I had the same idea. He knows he hasn't got space for any more, but just can't help himself. He's like, I've got to do it again.
So the question that I do have
Yes.
is, okay, these monkeys were causing a lot of mess and a lot of bother.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What was going on whilst Juan was in the same room with his parents? Were the monkeys just deciding, let's not do anything?
Maybe they were in other rooms, creating carnage in the bedroom, for
But
example.
then those rooms could be tidy. One would be with his parents, and then they come back and see the room's a mess. How is he getting the blame for that? Or do they believe him that he's got imaginary monkeys?
No, they don't believe shit. They're blaming him. They don't need a reason.
Then,
Like, if you were in this situation and you were telling your mum that it was the imaginary monkeys, even if your mum had seen that you'd not been in that room since, she's still thinking you've done it. You're not going to believe someone saying that it's monkeys, are you? Unless you physically see a monkey.
then I would have thought that the next thing a logical, thinking, rational adult would go to would be ghosts.
Maybe.
If no one's in that room and shit starts happening, ghosties.
Spookies! Woo! What if this is what the aliens meant all along?
What do you mean?
They were planning to, like, F up the Earth or take over the Earth via monkeys.
Oh, I thought you meant that
They knew that
they'd
this-
said something when handing the box over. I was like, I don't remember him.
They had specifically chosen Juan because they knew that Juan wouldn't be able to resist making more and more and more, despite them getting him into more and more crap.
It's like Mr. Meeseeks. Create more Mr. Meeseeks to try and control the Mr. Meeseeks.
There you go. Eventually, Juan snapped. He smacked his head twice and then put the monkeys in an ankle lock. Juan was still a kid, remember, and there's only so much being told off a kid can take. Meanwhile, after a while, toys get old. So Juan had had enough, but what could Juan do? Well, Juan took a shovel into the nearby mountains where Juan buried his mystery box. Juan didn't mark the spot. Juan just wanted rid of the problem. You short-sighted little prick. Now remember, Juan didn't know how to make the monkeys disappear. Some of the monkeys, well, I guess all of the monkeys, escaped as Juan buried the mystery box, and these monkeys still roam the Puerto Rican mountains today as far as science tells us.
Is this apparently the story of how monkeys ended up in Puerto Rico? Juan and his magical box.
There's probably a report somewhere of like a Puerto Rican monkey cryptid that roams the forest, or a group of them. This is the origin that people don't realise.
Also, he couldn't make the monkeys disappear. So did any of them, did they just disappear on their own? Or did they go back in the box on their own? Or
They
just
didn't
not
know,
bother
they
at
just
all?
went out into the wild,
So
started doing their own thing.
are they naturally coming out of the box whenever they want?
They don't go back into the box. You make them with the box. Once they're made, they're out there.
Yeah, but why is he
So
getting
the
rid?
girl could make them disappear and go back in the box, but Juan never worked out that step.
But what I'm saying is, why is he getting rid of the box? If he knows the combination to make them appear, and they don't just appear on their own after that, then what's burying the box going to do?
Stop him from the temptation of making more and more, because he's just getting himself in more and more crap. It's the only solution.
I mean, he hasn't marked the spot, but he clearly knows where it is.
Well, it turns out that this wasn't the end of Juan's story. As so often happens with boys who like to play with toys, the boy one day became a man.
Juan man, Juan box. Monkeys.
Juan would need a man toy to play with. It just so happens that in adulthood, Juan begun receiving contact from the alien species who had once visited him. The aliens must have been keeping tabs on Juan and the mystery box. The aliens were generally female, as chance would have it. Now, I'm not clear on whether this was actually the once young blonde alien from earlier visiting Juan repeatedly, or whether it was different random female aliens visiting Juan each time, but female aliens begun taking Juan up in their craft just as before. Only it wasn't a kite getting sucked off. You're never going to guess what happened next. Okay,
No.
you will. Juan would begin shagging the alien girls. They're adults.
So
It's consensual interspecies romping.
he not only got her box, but he got her box.
Yeah, possibly her box, possibly others, but
Do
regardless,
you reckon
Juan was getting him some box.
if it was
All you can
the
eat.
same alien, do you reckon the monkey box was a proposal?
Possibly.
Like an engagement?
Yeah, they didn't
You are
realise that
mine.
humans don't have these agreements.
That was a trade. We
This
are
is-
now interlinked
Yeah,
forever.
this is your agreement to marry and mate. Juan was just taking monkeys.
Now, when we're of age, I shall be back. And that's how they had to trade items, otherwise it wasn't legit. She's still got his kite.
That was a proposal, yeah.
Do you reckon they asked where the monkey box was?
Probably not. They had other things on their mind. Details of the sex are actually quite limited, unfortunately. I'm not sure what position was used, whether they used space lube as we've seen before, or whether the aliens even had the same bits as us, but Juan did describe the alien chap as a man earlier, so I'm assuming that these things were basically advanced humans. I don't know if safe sex was utilised, but we have no details of STDs or offspring, just Juan banged them. What we do know, though, is that during one such sexual encounter, as Juan laid the boomstick down on his alien baddie, Juan began receiving a telepathic message. The message said, clear as day,
The hour of the new harvest is approaching.
Oh. They're just using him for his seed.
Juan was abso-freaking-lutely clueless as to what this meant, and so Juan did absolutely nothing with this information. We simply don't know whether the new harvest came to pass or whether this related to the monkeys. Harvest, are they cooking and eating humans, or
No.
you think it's...
I think it's to do with his seed and starting the new crop of aliens, the next batch. Maybe it's like bees. They don't just have one. They have loads. Although for some reason, oddly reminded me of my alien dream the other day.
Right.
I had a dream that we were being attacked by aliens.
Are you sure that was a
But-
dream and not you being called up to the Galactic Defence Federation or something?
Well, the only weapon
Mars
I
Defence
had
Force, MDF?
was a guitar, so that was wasn't really going to
Weapon
do
of
much.
choice for many a
But
Mexican bandit.
when I woke up, I was like, that's the second time I have dreamt about the exact same alien spaceship and aliens.
It's not a dream.
And then I realised
You're regressing.
it was the second time, but I woke up during and then went back to bed and the dream just continued. So,
Awesome, like a pause button.
yep.
People would kill for that ability. No, I don't wake up, damn it. No, I was just about... That's basically the case here, so I thought we could quickly theorise on what the aliens may have been up to with this one. My first thought: did the aliens use Juan to unleash monkey fever on Puerto Rico? Now, there is an island about a mile off Puerto Rico called Cayo Santiago, but now commonly known as Monkey Island, which is inhabited by about 1,500 rhesus monkeys. It's said that Clarence Carpenter, a primatologist, brought about 450 of these creatures to the island in the 1930s. It's the same time period. Is this a cover-up story? The general public aren't allowed to visit the land of the island. Surely that can't be the case if there's nothing to hide. Some of these monkeys also live around Toa Baja and are a danger, not least because they can transmit herpes to humans. Devil monkey sightings continue in America to this day. Is this the cause? Remember, the chupacabra prowls the plains of Puerto Rico. What if it's not chupacabra, but herpes-delivering demon primates?
The cover-up story. Nonsense.
Why?
Because adults weren't able to see the monkeys. Only kids can. And
At
also,
first, what if they manifest completely over a certain period?
only one. So,
To begin with.
I suppose if these monkeys are just around having sex, then they could reproduce.
Maybe their
And
offspring.
Not that they
become-
only come from the box.
Maybe a smoke monkey met a real monkey and got monkey business going. Next thing you know, you got 1,500 of the buggers running around. Woo!
But yeah, I don't believe that that's a cover-up. Also, how did he get 450 of those monkeys? Was he just out capturing monkeys and was just like,
He had
let's rid this place of monkeys and take them all here to Monkey Sanctuary.
Had a monkey mystery box.
And it's now called Monkey Island, not the video game.
I'd imagine some were captured and probably bred in captivity for a while. No idea. My second thought is basically, was there some hidden power within the kite, whereby the monkeys were a known nuisance on the alien home world, and the aliens just wanted to get rid of them? Did they manipulate this poor child? But then I suppose if they didn't care at all, it would have been easier to whack Juan. Whack them. Finally, maybe our technology is so basic to these aliens that it's completely forgotten, and therefore our toys have an impossible to replicate magic that all the computers and VR in the world and whatnot simply can't emulate. Our rubber ducks and Rubik's cubes could blow away these creatures. Do you have any theories to explain the aliens' motivations, Mr. Moonwalker?
They thought that this toy was really special and then they didn't realise it was just the wind. They don't have wind
the
on
sky.
their planet. And they were like, oh my god, look at this. And yeah, it's just wind. They didn't show him. I don't think the aliens... Words. I don't think the monkeys were a nuisance on the alien homeworld because they were able to put them back in the box.
Yeah.
However, I don't think they manipulated Juan either, because although they gave him the box, they never showed him the correct combination to summon the monkeys. Just gave him the box.
Couldn't trust him with that power.
He figured that shit out for himself, but he couldn't figure out how to put them back in. So I honestly don't think he tried hard enough. He was able to sit there and work out the combination to release them, but didn't want to sit there and work out the combination to put them back. And why wouldn't you try and do that after unleashing one monkey?
Questions.
Questions for Juan?
What else could be going on here? Juan could have shown this technology to someone, yes, okay, but remember, Juan was the one. The aliens chose to share with Juan, and Juan was a kid. He wasn't thinking about this like you and I. Admittedly, we have next to zero evidence for this one, but does that really matter? Okay, sure, we don't really know who Juan was. We can't verify any of these details further than that there may have been a teenager alive during this time by this name according to records available online. The accounts I've seen are third or fourth hand accounts and are very brief, and we definitely don't have the mystery box despite this box allegedly truthfully still being on Earth. What I've given you is pretty much more than what is out there on this incident, but I have no counter argument to finish this sentence with. What probably really happened here is that Juan lost his kite and didn't want a bollocking from his parents. Then later in adulthood, Juan leaned back into that alien story, be that for a laugh or to try and get some attention as a misguided young man. If Juan was a teenager in 1934, he would have been a young adult when aliens hit mainstream, and maybe Juan just jumped on the bandwagon. Maybe.
I reckon he lost the kite. Got in trouble. He could have just been a little shit. Like, he was always getting in trouble for things being a mess at home.
Yeah?
I reckon he might have just been a little shit. Or his parents were dicks. But either way, later in adulthood or early teens or whatever,
Yeah.
I reckon he used this story to try and get himself some poon.
I'm not a virgin. I've shagged loads of aliens.
Yep. I reckon that's exactly what's happened. Either that or he's done it to jump on the bandwagon and try and get some money.
Well, there's not much out there on this one, so I don't think he tried very hard if that's the case.
Just like when he didn't try that hard to put the monkeys back in the box.
In summary, we've covered the 1934 tale of Juan Rivera Feliberti, a young man who was out flying a kite when a UFO stole it. Juan got sucked off beneath the kite, and before Juan knew it, Juan was in a UFO looking at a green-suited tingle alien. A female child alien then displayed their magical box to Juan. Monkeys came out of the box and Juan agreed to trade the box for his kite. Juan was returned home and eventually showed the monkeys to his school friends. It turned out that adults couldn't see the monkeys though, which were getting quite numerous, so Juan, tired of being told off for what the monkeys were doing, buried the mystery box. The monkeys roam free. When Juan got older, Juan shagged some aliens. One time, Juan was told a prophecy telepathically during the intercourse. The hour of the new harvest is approaching. Juan was clueless. That's basically all we have today. Anything you want to go back over, Mr. Moonwalker?
Do we have anything about the other children seeing the monkeys?
We have literally nothing.
Cool, this is bullshit.
So on that note, are you saying that it was aliens? No!
No, I'm not.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it was aliens, or am I?
You're not.
This one, I kind of said it, but we have next to zero evidence. I really, really struggled to trace this one back to an original source, but to be honest, even if we could, I'd probably still be concluding the same way. This one is little paranormal bastard smoky spirit monkeys. These spirits made their way to Delhi and boom, we've explained paranormal simians the world over. Yes, I suppose if you had me on the witness stand, I'd have to say that I'm not saying that this one is aliens, but we don't worry about things like the truth now, do we, folks? Chewbacca! Do you have any final thoughts that you'd like to share, Mr. Moonwalker?
Just got the reference. Amazing. Chewbacca.
Yeah, clearly not aliens, sadly.
No, it's not. Do I have anything else to add? No, I don't.
Well, that is a wrap for today. Thank you for listening to But It Was Aliens each and every week, unless you don't. In which case, well, hello there. If you enjoy the show and want to hear some more, then there is a way you can support the show and gain access to some bonus episodes. Bonus! We call these episodes our side pros because when we begun, we were covering aliens exclusively, so it's like we were cheating on the aliens. Now, we still cover non-alien events on the side probes each month, but we try to make those episodes as crazy, adult, or downright bonkers as possible. If you're interested, head on over to patreon.com/butitwasaliens and become a patron of the show. It costs less than a cup of coffee. You can't get better value than that. Unless you have rum. If you have any episode suggestions, and by the way, we really appreciate the outlandish cases, thanks for that. You can hit us up on the X Twitter at But It Was Aliens.
It's been a while since I've hit at that.
Or you can join our publicly private Facebook group called Extraterrestrial Towers. This construction strongly resembles a teepee, but is definitely a robust fort that will protect you from aliens rather than harvest you. Ignore the giant human-sized blender. All is good. That's it for this episode. So until next time, why are fannies on the back in the United States of America, but on the front in the United Kingdom? How did that happen? The truth is up there. #proback.
Because we have common sense and don't have to turn our fanny packs round to it to get into them. Fanny pack, fanny pack. Also, both terms of fanny. We have ours where we deem the fanny. They have theirs where they deem the fanny. Case closed. Yeah, fanny.
Oh, yeah, you spoilt this ending, haven't you? Any other dreams you want to shit on while we're here? We're still rolling.
Nope, I'm good.
You want to destroy the lives of any other people?
Nah. Save that for the next one.
Do you know what? Just occurred to me. I was going to tell you about pogs. So, remember you used to be able to buy pog printers? So you can make your own pogs?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
you could buy them like from an Argos catalogue or whatever, and you'd literally print your own pictures onto a little pog. So my partner's brother had one of those printers and made his own pogs in school.
Were they all like
He took the
adult?
he took the underwear section of like the Argos catalogues and printed like pogs of the underwear section, like bras and knickers, panties. He must have been so popular in the pog scene. Oh, we need to play with that guy. He's got them titties.
On another note,
Yeah.
both I and actually, I think all of us at some point worked in that establishment.
Yeah.
One of our friends,
Catalogue shop. Yep.
whilst working overnight, it was a bit too much for him, you know? He couldn't stay awake.
Yes.
I mean, it wasn't really fucking long hours, but, you know, just a little bit too much. So he fell asleep. The rest of us went and got said underwear part of the catalogue, opened it up, and got some tissue and wet the tissue and put it on the catalogue and laid it in his lap. And then proceeded to take some photos of said things.
He had himself a real good time on
And
the
we
night
have
shift.
the Polaroid still somewhere.
Good times.
Good times. That's how